This is a book review of Talk Like TED. This would be a wonderful book to read if you are looking to improve your public speaking skills, if you have to give speeches, presentations in your job. This book will certainly help you improve your ability to connect with your audience and deliver a more engaging, compelling, persuasive talk. The author of this book has analysed and studied some of the most popular talks on TED. TED is an online educational platform in which experts talk for around 18 minutes about specific topics. And he has analysed some of the most successful ones, the videos that have got multiple millions of views. And he has looked at why their presentations have resonated with so many different people. And he's distilled 9 principles. He has uncovered and discovered 9 things which world-class presentations have. And these 9 principles are discussed in this book, and they come in 3 categories. The first category is the emotionality of your presentation. The first principle being passion. You have to be enthusiastic. You have to be genuinely interested and curious about what you're talking about. If you're not passionate, then how can you expect the audience to really care what you're saying? So the first principle, the best talks are ones delivered by people who genuinely are motivated to learn about their subject and present their ideas to an audience. The second aspect of the emotional component is storytelling. Telling short stories and anecdotes with perhaps characters and a plot, a journey, adversary, obstacles. This is going to make your points more relatable. People will be able to envisage the points you're trying to make if you're able to tell a story. It will also make your points more memorable because people can more easily visualize and picture in their heads what you're trying to say. The information that you're trying to convey can be very well encoded into a story. And personal anecdotes, giving little interesting tips based on personal experience, can also be a way of engaging your audience and connecting with people, because if you're using pictures and images, then people can visualize and you can be on the same page together. The third aspect of emotionality is about authenticity. It's about coming across as being original, as being real, as being genuine. You're not putting on any airs. You're not putting on a persona which is completely different from your true authentic self. You are coming across as being there in the environment with your audience, and you're connecting on a one-to-one basis. So a good tip when giving a talk is to make eye contact with individual members of the audience, because that way you're there, you're present, you're talking to them individually, and you're not addressing an abstract block and having some hand gestures or movements which are completely out of kilter with what the audience expect. You're not disconnected from the audience. You want to connect as much as possible. The second category is about novelty. In order to have an effective, impactful, hard-hitting presentation, it is essential to do things which surprise the audience, which go outside the box, which give them something new to think about. People generally don't want, run-of-the-mill, same old story from, a few years ago, cliches and platitudes and worn-out expressions. They want something new. In this book, the example the author uses is Bill Gates talking about malaria. And in his famous TED talk, he actually releases live mosquitoes in the arena. And the audience kind of is surprised at this because even the word mosquito is associated with fear. It's associated with, health problems, and that's something to be avoided. It's a predatory animal. And so not only does this play into the emotionality part of delivering an effective presentation, it was also surprising and therefore had quite a lot of impact. The author talks about making sure, your presentation is visually engaging, is colourful, and using graphs and diagrams and pictures can be a fantastic way to illustrate your points and get across your points in a much faster way. Because often what it takes 30 minutes of explaining to convey can be quickly just add a snapshot. A graph can quickly do the job. People can see it, intuitively understand it, grasp the concept, and therefore the visual aid of a map or a diagram can be a wonderful synergistic aspect of delivering a highly effective presentation. There are other aspects to delivering an outstanding presentation, and the third category of the principles discussed are making your presentation memorable. So I'm not going to go through all of the different tips and strategies and methods. You really ought to read the book. I've hopefully given you a flavour of what this book entails and what it includes. It's an outstanding book. It's scientific in the sense that it's not just wishy-washy hearsay. The author has really tried to look at the neuroscience and the parts of the brain that are being activated during these presentations, and looking at the neurology and what's happening in the brain during these presentations and after, to make them lasting and durable, impactful and persuasive. So for me, this book would get a 9 out of 10. I think if you do a job where you need to talk and you need to give presentations, this ought to be a must read. But I would say the lessons that can be learned from reading this book are much more broad in their application. This should help you to improve your interpersonal skills more generally, because I think it's about communication, and some of the methods apply to every walk of life. Thanks for watching.